time. Something has got to happen because we can no longer go down the path that we're going down. This country won't last another 6 months. This country won't last another 12 months if something doesn't happen. So it's time to flip the switch. It's time to get involved. It's time to move the line forward. And if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. So I don't care what flip the switch is. I don't care if that means that all of this nonsense is nonsense, or if some of it's true. All right. Welcome, Warriors, World Patriots, my fellow Americans. My name is Mike. I'm the host of Liberty Warrior. Give me liberty or give me death. When tyranny becomes a law, rebellion becomes our duty. It is Hump Day, Wednesday, the 23rd, 2022. How's everybody doing tonight? We do have Snafu Radio in the waiting room. I got Scott. He's in there. He's wound up. He's ready to go. So the other night, he was scheduled to be here. And Mother Nature changed his course for the evening. He ended up going and hanging out somewhere he probably didn't want to have to be, but it was important that he got there. I'll let him tell that story, but he is backstage. So, folks, pretty excited about tonight, getting to spend time with Scott. I have no idea what we're going to talk about tonight. We could talk gold, silver. We could talk world events, current events. We could talk about the gas prices, inflation. we could talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. I don't know where we will take it tonight. I'm going to let him kind of just take the floor, and we'll get the conversation going and have a great time doing it. So, folks, thank you for joining us tonight. A lot of new faces in chat. I'm sure some of them from over on Scott's channel. So, welcome to LWN. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. For those of you who are new and watching and trying to interact in the chat, we put the filter in to where you have to be subscribed to chat for 7 days, trying to keep some of the bots out of chat, but for some reason last night they hit us pretty hard a couple times, and I still trying to wrap my head around how that even was possible. But I don't know. It's just a battle with some of those computer things, and it is what it is. I did figure out my headphone set this afternoon, so I got that taken care of, so I can actually hear people talk. So anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and just bring Scott in. How you doing there, Scott?
Hey, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, 5x5.
Nice, nice. Well, thanks for having me back. Yeah, shoot. I,
Absolutely.
I got a
How's
little
the
tied,
weather in Texas?
yeah, I got a little tied up a couple of days ago, to say the least. There was about this time 2 days ago, man, I had to haul my ass to a car wash because I got a new car and they were talking about diamond quarter size hell. And so me and probably about like 4 or 5 other people were down there at the car wash hiding and hunkering it out. Boy, I was sitting there just watching the storm just roll on past. It was 10 tornadoes, they say, rolled through here.
Wow. Is that doesn't sound normal to me.
Yeah, well, what's normal the hell these days? Ain't nothing normal. So
Nothing's normal, not even the weather. I mean, our snowpack here in Idaho, we missed the mark. We had it in early January. We hit the mark in early January, but then warmer temperatures and everything, we lost our snowpack that we're supposed to have. So this might be a pretty hot summer, pretty hot dry summer here in Idaho, and it could really affect a lot of things. Crops. It could affect. It will affect the reservoirs and fishing, and I mean, just I don't think people realize how some of that stuff has a huge ripple effect, and it can ripple all the way into the city and not just here in the country.
oh, for sure, and I mean, everybody already knows they've been spraying us like bugs forever. So, now we're just seeing all these different types of weather whiplashes and whatever. So it's certainly amazing to watch a lot of this stuff as it unfolds because there's just, you know, there's new shit every day, man. It's just, uh, I don't know. And what seems to me right now is like a lot of things are kind of really quiet too, except for, weather and stuff, which happens a lot. But as far as like looking at the big scope of all the stuff that's really going on that everybody's quite aware of, it's you're not really hearing a whole lot, ever since, Russia went in and started cleaning out Ukraine and everything. In fact, I was even kind of watching mainstream media yesterday. They never even mentioned Russia. And
Mm.
so I started saying a couple weeks ago, it's like, yeah, they're gonna pivot off that shit real quick once they start seeing all the dirt coming out on that thing. So now you're starting to see, how they're wanting to change the narrative. Weather's always a good one, because they can weaponize that stuff. Look at the stuff that they've done here in Texas for years. They even brag about it. There's video of people out of like Texas A&M, these weather guys, they're down there in West Texas, creating and seeding clouds and making mistakes, and flooding out places and all kinds of crap like that. So it's totally wacky right now. Everything's just totally whacked out crazy. That's
So
one
why
thing.
do you why in your opinion why would you think they'd hit Texas so hard? Because last year we had the big Texas freeze and it messed Texas up so bad with the power grid and everything. and now 10 tornadoes. I mean, come on, that can't be normal, a normal climate. Why do you think they're hitting Texas so hard?
Shoot, it's a red state,
Hmm.
and so that's always a good default reason. And
Hmm.
so many people are moving here now. I mean, it's insane. You can't even buy houses around here. People can't rent apartments. In fact, you hear about people having to go to Oklahoma to try to find a place to stay because everything's full up around here. Everybody's moving here.
Yeah.
Everybody. So,
Same with Idaho. Same with Idaho. A
yeah.
house that I wired back in 2007 went for 110,000. Last week I seen the exact same house that they're building. They wanted 450,000 for it.
Oh, they were just talking about the average mean price of a house now here around Dallas County is $300,000. Yeah.
The average price in Boise, Idaho, the average price, mid average price, $550,000.
Jeez. Man, that sounds like Colorado.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really really bad. Um, and then you got to think about the people that've been there for a long time. Let's consider people on Social Security. They've been there for say 40 years. That's their house they bought when they first got married. They paid it off. They've been in it a long time. Well, with all these prices going up, the value of homes going up, and new homes going up around them, the property tax is going to skyrocket. And then are those people on fixed incomes going to be able to afford the property tax?
Yeah, that's a big, big problem. And it's certainly going on around here in Texas for sure. Austin is really feeling that bite because they're the same way. It's like, for whatever reason, it's insanely expensive down there. But I was hearing about them bitching about property taxes years ago. And it's a real thing. People are actually moving out into the country to get out of that property tax type bind. So, yeah, it's serious business on that front, too, without a doubt. Bunch of greedy bureaucrats, just running amok. So, I don't know. Don't get me started on that.
Well, we can talk about anything you want. I got quite a few things that I've been paying attention to this week, and let's talk real quick about Hunter Biden and the laptop. Your thoughts on
Oh,
that?
well, first thing I do want to address, because I saw somebody mention it, that I hadn't posted a video in a couple of weeks. Well, I got a strike a couple of weeks. I guess this coming Tuesday next week, it'll be over for 2 weeks. But oh yeah, medical misinformation talking about Ukraine and breaking all that stuff down over there. And so that's the reason I haven't been posting no videos in case anybody wants to know. And that whole laptop thing, everybody knows about that. I mean, who doesn't know about that? That's 2 years old. And
Yeah,
the media is just now catching up with what the hell we already know.
yeah,
It's
just now.
but that's old news. It's like no shit. We already know that. Everything about it, all that stuff, blah blah blah. What are you going to do about it? That's the big kicker. Like when's all the hammers are going to start dropping? And that's kind of one of the weird things about how quiet it really kind of is with all this stuff going on. And that there's a lot of things going on underneath that we're not able to see. And there's got to be, you just know, I've been talking to several different people from all over parts of the country. It's like kind of the same thing. It's like, it's kind of like you're seeing some of the news and you're hearing some of this, and Putin's been over there. Hell, it's 3 weeks. Going on close to 30 days. He's just choking it out over there. The next shoe to drop, what is it? China goes in there and cleans out Taiwan. Yeah, that's obviously to me what they would be doing next. And so then it's going to be all this big hate against China. And you can see them already ramping up, and trying to create that division between, China and Putin and Russia and Xi and all this other stuff. So they're already trying to do that. Meanwhile, in the background, China's already told Ukraine, the head person over in Ukraine, that we're not going to interfere or do anything because of what America says. And look who's pushing and talking war and dropping nukes. America.
Yep.
I mean, if this ain't the biggest mass brainwashing propaganda event where people that are sitting around, I see them flying these big, huge ass flags. So I was coming back on the other side of Dallas the other day, and these dumbasses are flying these big, huge Ukrainian flags. I just wanted to call them up and say, hey, congratulations, man. Y'all are flying them big flags. Oh, yeah, we support Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. It's like, great. I'm so glad you support neo-national fascist Nazis, man. Congratulations. You are, when are you going to enlist for the neo-Nazi fascist party? I mean, what's going on there? And just hit them upside the head with it. They're like, they're going to be like, what? And I'm like, yeah, go research the Azov battalion, dumbass.
And think about the millions and the billions of dollars that they are scooping up right now, because I can't remember what store I was in the other day. Maybe it was Walmart. I'm not sure. I had to run in and grab something real quick, and the clerk asked me, "Hey, would you mind giving an extra dollar for the Ukrainian fund?" and I said, "For the Ukrainian fund?" I said, who's collecting the money, and where's the money going? How am I going to know that gets to Ukraine, and how am I going to know that it gets to the people who actually need it in the Ukraine? How do I know that those people even need that money? I mean, this thing is such a scam, man. They really, what do they say? Don't let a good crisis go to waste.
This is beyond a crisis. This is manufactured. I mean, they are literally, with help of the mainstream media, brainwashing and propagandizing people to actually enlist and join, to go over there and get put in the meat grinder. I was reading several different things. There's been videos go, viral. Those guys over there saying, man, don't come over here. It's a trap, blah, blah, blah. I posted something about that on the damn Telegram thing. And this is, a week or so old now, and one of the most hot shot snipers out of Canada went to enlist. Like I say, this is about a week ago. As soon as he got in country, about 30 minutes later, he got popped by a Spetsnaz. And so his career is over, So these people think this is just some like glorified, this ain't a video game, And those people, especially Russians, they've been fighting Nazis since World War II. I mean, this is not their first rodeo. So, and they had all these different Chechens and all this other stuff come out of the woodwork, and it sounds like Belarus is going to join in with them. And, the Serbians are already pro-Russian anyway. So they've got huge amounts of support. It's overwhelming propaganda by the mainstream media that is keeping this artificially pumped up. And soon as the dirt starts coming out about it and people start actually hearing about it, it's going to change quite quickly. So that's one thing to think about right there.
But when it changes, Scott, they're not gonna pick it up and cover it. They're gonna go silent like they always do.
Well, of course. And like I always say, it's not what they say, it's what they don't say. And so when they're not talking about it, that means there's way too much that's going to be squirting out the sides, and they can't plug the internet up completely. The only way they can do that is to do blackout. And that'll be the next thing, because it'll just be overload at some point. They've been talking blackout for quite some time now. So when does that happen? I don't know. When they try to go reset everything, currency, the whole ball of wax, who the hell knows? That's what just makes this kind of like a total guessing game on all points. And you're just sitting here like, well, they got this, they could do this, they could do this, they could do this. It's like shit, it's endless at this point.
Yeah, the list keeps going on and on and on for speculation on what the next step is on either side. Which reminds me, I was paying attention to a couple of guys this morning, some economic experts, and they're saying digital currency is beyond being on the doorstep. It's through the threshold, and it's coming down the hallway. And digital currency, doing away with the dollar. A lot of countries are doing away with the petrodollar as we speak. So, what's on the horizon for us? Your thoughts?
It's kind of interesting. I get texts from all kinds of people, because yeah, as these countries de-dollarize, and like Russia is already working on a deal with Modi out of India, the Russian ruble exchange or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. You know, talked about that a little bit. And China and Russia, they've been working together for quite some time. They're China's the one that's actually backing Russia just by the way it's telling America, take a hike. We're not look at Venezuela. Old Brandon goes down there, starts begging for oil, and Venezuela told him to take a hike. Oh yeah, remember those sanctions you put on Venezuela a few years ago? Yeah, they ain't playing no more. So they forced everybody because why does everybody have to play with the damn dollar when a US can just randomly come in there and sanction you and do all this other stuff? I mean, these other countries would be the best thing that could ever happen was for them to unify and get the hell out of the dollar. It's the smartest thing to do, and it's security. I mean, how would, like I say, you got America coming in there and just dictating to everybody, oh, we'll just sanction you and blah blah blah, we'll just crater your economy, so get them out. And it's look at Putin, what he's been doing. Hell, he started passing some of these laws. This is one of my favorite ones. He started passing a law where you couldn't spread fake news. CNN
Yep.
had to pack up and haul ass.
Yes, he they did that. They've been kicking all kinds of people out of the country, but I'm glad they kicked CNN and the rest of them out of country. And Russia has been stocking up on gold for quite a while. I think they're going to gold backed currency as well. And I hear count here in America now is we're up to 8 states with gold backed currency.
And I've heard Russia's back the ruble with gold, but it hasn't. There's not been any solid confirmation of that, so it's still kind of running wild on the net and stuff. I mean, if they do, it would just be a matter of time before India and China do the same thing. And so that is immediate. I mean, why not? Because then they make their currencies all the same value, and immediately then the US would have no choice but to back the dollar with gold at that point. And you know it's been widely discussed several times they could balance the economy, the $30 trillion debt easily. They just take the gold in Fort Knox, regardless if it's there or not, just put it just on paper, divide that gold into the national debt, reprice gold at $70,000 an ounce, and boom shakalaka, you just made the dollar, all the debt go away, and you reprice gold. You don't think these other countries wouldn't love gold being at $70,000 an ounce? Right now, this lady, she was texting me asking me if I was buying the ruble. And I said, oh, no, I hadn't really thought about it or anything. And she goes, oh, you should check into that because let's see, what was that thing trading at right now? Or at least it was just a little bit ago. um, 89.25 rubles to a dollar. Okay. That is one hell of a ratio when you're almost at 90 rubles to a dollar. If that ratio started closing and go 1 to 1, man, you could go buy you a couple of $300 or $400 worth of rubles, man, and whoo, shit, you'd come out solid on the other side. Just
I
playing
heard, I
ratio.
heard, I heard dongs are worth a lot of money too.
I know, and you hear all that. You hear about the reset, everything like that, the NESARA, GESARA. I heard all that. I see all that stuff online. Yep, I know all about it. Researched it, studied it. Okay, I'm good. Now, what's going on right now? Ain't nothing we're seeing going on
Yeah,
at all.
it's pretty quiet. A lot of stuff going on, but nothing I think that a lot of people want to see. And I know a lot of people are concerned about where this economy is going to go and when is this going to kick off and when's that going to kick off, and people throwing dates out there, and I don't pay attention to any of the dates. I just watch and pay attention to what I can understand, I guess, is one of the keys, because a lot of things I can dive into and I have no clue. So I try to pay attention to what I do understand, and then the rest is in God's hands. I mean, it's whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Well, there's no doubt about that. It's just getting informed, and that's the whole thing with me, is always wanting to get as much information, intel, or whatever, 'cause that way you're able to prepare in all kinds of different ways. I mean, you know guys, especially in construction or anything, you always have to kind of prepare and plan, and sometimes you'll plan months in advance. And when I was doing in construction, especially, you'd stay 3 months in advance on all your planning. So what you plan today, is going to occur in about 3 months. So watching the planning and the structuring, the time that it's taking, for a lot of this to unfold, and they say, you know, you got to wake up part of the masses. Well, I already kind of talked about this once, but it's funny. There's 30% of the population that will not ever be hypnotized. You can't bullshit them or anything. 40% are fence sitters, and they're the ones that go along to get along. And another 30% are just totally brainwashed to the hilt. And 10% out of them can be brainwashed on anything. So you're kind of seeing, the dividing lines. And until more of that 40% start moving over to that 30% and it grows, I mean, there's still a lot of things that hasn't changed, and people are already betting on stuff. They're talking, the next election, it's going to be so great. It's like, oh, anybody tell me what's really significantly changed? I mean, they still have the same process as far as I know. And that didn't work out so well for everybody, last.
No. And
And
if you walk in and see those machines, that's even worse, right? So what are your thoughts on what's going on in Wisconsin and Georgia right now, with them diving back into the whole happenings of November of 2020? Do you think that any of that is going to manifest? Are we gonna grab some traction and actually see something happen? Are people going to be held accountable, or do you think they'll try to just sweep it under the carpet and move on?
Well, I think they've already tried sweeping it under the carpet. And I think what's happened is now they swept so much underneath the carpet. It's such a big hill, nobody can avoid it anymore.
They keep tripping over the carpet.
Yeah, I mean, hell, they can't even walk around it. I mean, shit, it's so damn big. You got to take a bus to get around it now. So, yeah, they got a big old pile of stinky mess right there, and it's just fermenting, and eventually that stuff's gonna catch on fire. That's what shit will do. So I'm just waiting for it to all blow up and just kind of, yep, there it is. It's on fire now. It's good. Talk about a dumpster fire. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let's just hope it happens before midterm, right?
Well, yeah, because my whole opinion is until the last part was fixed, um, anything going forward doesn't matter. So, how are they going to do it? Well, there's people smarter than me, but it sure is funny how they were able to pull out some real obscure laws, at certain points in times that nobody's ever heard of. And it's like, where'd they dust that damn thing off from? And so if they're able to pull some things out, like supposedly what's been signed and enacted and all that's verified and, up to snuff, and man, like I say, there could be a lot of different things happening simultaneously that is you're just unable to wrap your head around because you just don't have enough of the facts and information to make a good logical conclusion. I mean, like I say, you hear about a lot of these people that supposedly got whacked or well, under very strange circumstances passed away. And then you hear them, oh, well, they're all on an island hanging out having martinis, talking about the big event. you know? So who the hell knows?
Yeah. Well, I know a couple of them. I think. How do I put this so we don't get kicked off of here? I know a couple of them were swinging in the breeze at least, I don't know, 12, 14, 15 times. These people have more lives than a cat, it seems like. But then 3 or 4 weeks later, they're in the news running for the Democratic nomination again. So it's confusing for sure.
The one thing that really made it real confusing is probably when you started figuring out all these synthetic masks that they have and these bodysuit type masks and then the
Hmm.
CGIs and all the computer graphic stuff. Now, anything that you see on a screen, you can't 100% verify anymore. That's just the facts. I mean, they got these masks now that look so real that the only way it's a mask is because they pull it off in front of you. And I'm like,
Hmm.
holy crap, man, that's really real looking. And so all this stuff that we're seeing, coming across on the news, and even, the reporting coming out on, Ukraine. I've seen, videos of one guy, he's over there and he's kind of documenting some of the bombed out damage and stuff. And then you also see other guys that are going over in parts of Kiev that are like English or something, and you don't see any fighting at all, no military at all. And so, and he says, but there's a lot of stage looking events at the bus stations and stuff like that, where there's lots of group people would meet
Hmm.
up, and there's a lot of photographers, and it's like heavily staged looking areas.
How
But you
about
get
the how
in the
about the body bags that still move?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, shoot, you got that. You got guys smoking cigarettes while they're covered in a body bag. It's like, oh yeah, there's nothing to see here.
Just keep moving on. Keep moving on. I was sent a video yesterday from a young man over in Kiev, over in Ukraine. Anyway, he said he went over there to help. Now, I was under the impression that the United States and Ukraine are United Kingdom, the NATO countries were not inside Ukraine fighting to any capacity. And I looked at this guy and he didn't look like he was any kind of military guy. So I don't know if he was just like a civilian that bought a plane ticket and flew over there. But he was saying how he got over there and it wasn't what he thought it was. They were forcing people to go to the front lines. They were tearing up passports, not allowing them to leave, pushing them to the front with sometimes no weapon, sometimes a weapon with maybe 10 rounds. And he said, "Don't come here. It's a trap." Just a really, really strange video. Um, it's like, what the heck is really going on?
Yeah, that's the video I was talking about earlier. And so, you're seeing that, and then, but that's what I get back to is the brainwashing propaganda of the mainstream media presenting it as one thing when it's really something completely different. And these people have no idea what they're getting into. And they're stepping into a meat grinder because the Russians ain't playing around. And
No.
if you're a Azov guy, that because those guys have tattoos and all this stuff, they're swastikas and whatever else, they don't. The Russians don't take prisoners. They made that quite apparent, or they made that very well known. They're not taking any prisoners. If you're Azov, you got a special ride. So yeah, they don't mess around
Well,
over there.
Putin did say that he was going to have a special operation that was going in there to denazify, and I know a lot of people made fun of that and called it conspiracy theory, this, that, and the other. But man, it almost seems like what he's saying is coming true. It's kind of like Mr. T. The things that he has said has also come true, and it's kind of, I mean, it's kind of strange how they say things. A lot of people say it's conspiracy, and then next thing you know, it becomes conspiracy fact.
Yeah, so many people want to throw up that term conspiracy. It's like, no, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. You're just a dumbass, So that's been a meme that's been going around. I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. I can agree with that. There's some pretty good memes I see sometimes that just are like, yeah, that sounds like something I would say.
Well, there's what are your thoughts, because I know that you deal a lot with and you help Andy with Miles Franklin. And I want to just touch on gold and silver real quick, because gold shot up to over $2,000 an ounce. Silver got up to almost $26 an ounce, and I know a lot of people they have questions about that, and I just want to give you an opportunity to talk about that, and to talk about Andy and Miles Franklin, because they're a great company. But I just feel like eventually that stuff is going to be worth more than you can imagine if this thing turns ugly quick and in a hurry, and you're not prepared.
No, agreed. Yeah. And I am a broker with Miles Franklin. And if anybody wants to get in touch with me, it's Scott at milesfranklin.com, and I can answer any questions you may have. And a shout out to Denise, because she wanted me to really bring this out. So, hey, Denise, you finally get you some recognition here. She's a super nice lady. Uh, but what she was, wanting to have me relay is when you do order from Miles Franklin, the main thing is once you lock in the price, that silver is yours. It doesn't matter if it shot up $100 the next day. You
Yeah.
just have to wait on the shipping to, arrive. And sometimes, depending on what you pick, some of the coins are like 30, 40 days out now, so it's really going to be kind of smart to start moving into bars next. And maybe eventually you might only can get bars. Who knows if they start to run out. But hang on, sorry. So, but anyway, when you lock that price in, you're good. And so you don't have to worry about it. It's your silver. You're all set. Depending on how you pay for it, just determine how fast it'll get to you. But that's it. All you got to do is just go through the waiting game. And whenever you get ready to resell it, a lot of people ask the same thing. You can call us and we'll buy it back from you. But you also have the opportunity to make a little bit of money with it yourself. You can resell it to friends. I even heard, I had one guy who he's a client, and he's up in Michigan, and he kind of goes around some of the pawn shops and stuff to see if he can find any loose silver or anything. And they were paying $31 for a buffalo round, any bullion type coin.
Wow.
So there could be a time where you could sell it to those guys and still come out, make a little bit of money on it, cash it in, and get your money right there. So it will definitely be something that people will buy, because just because you didn't know that much about silver doesn't mean these other people don't know more about silver and know the value of silver and what it's worth. And yes, I agree. The significance of being in silver is one thing you can always count on. The dollars that you have will definitely be worth less tomorrow because they keep printing them out of existence. So the value of the dollar is guaranteed to go down in some value. Yeah, silver goes up and down. Usually my luck, I'll buy some silver and the next day it'll go down, and I'm like, damn, oh, that's my luck, But it'll come back up because it's always steadily kind of trending up on that, but it's holding its value too. And that's the main thing. I can still turn around and sell it for what I got in it. Whereas, dollars, there's just so much weirdness, with the whole economy. And I'm sure you've heard about it too, the rainbow currency and gold backed currency and all this other stuff. And banks are going to make the transition. In fact, I think I was reading it was supposed to be happening today. I was like, oh, okay, no, I hadn't heard nothing about that either. It's seen it at the banks or anything. So, but
Well, there was one channel that was getting a lot of attention there for about a week or so, and they said a lot of things were supposed to happen last week on the 15th, and nothing's happened yet that I'm aware of. And it's unfortunate that they say things like that and put things like that out, because it really drives people's hope through the ceiling, and they get all excited about this, and then huge letdown. So it's the rainbow currency. I've done some research on it. I don't know if that stuff's really going to happen or not. It's I don't know. It's one guy's design, and I'm not sure that I believe or trust in that.
well, like I say, I just see it all, and I don't discount anything. I'll just set it on the back burner and wait till I can get more confirmation. But one thing you can see is all the big countries, Russia, China, India, various other countries you hear all the time, they're all buying up as much gold as they can. They're getting as far away from the dollar as they can. And it just takes these guys, just all they got to do is sit down and ink a deal back. They could put it all in one currency, like some kind of BRICS currency or whatever. I think that was supposed to be like the SDR or something. And, or, individually, all they got to do is back their damn currency with gold, and it's going to force America to have to go and reevaluate that stuff immediately. That's the only way they can save it, because if not, what are they going to do? Haircut the banks and everything? They'll kind of give everybody like what they did over in Greece a while back, And so people ain't going to be going for that. It's just, there definitely needs to be something start happening, that we can start seeing, because I mean, it's almost like, it's weird. It's like walking in a fog right now, and we're not seeing any direction, any motive, anything serious on the next day or so. But you're seeing a lot of events that could culminate in the next couple of months or so that really could be, it could just change everything. Like I say, China goes in there, cleans out Taiwan. How long does that take? 2-3 months or something, Russia and that whole thing, it's effectively over. All they're doing is waiting on them to run out of food, and they're going to have to walk out of there. And if you're Azov, you don't walk out. And if you're, just a regular person that's not being used as a human shield, then you're out, And so they'll fix that. That's pretty well taken care of. Now they got NATO, but now you see America trying to come in there and just foment war and talking about chemical and nuclear attacks.
Correct.
Who's going to do that?
Mhm.
Who's the
Well,
only
they're trying to pump the fear that it's going to be Russia.
Of course.
And that's the fear. That's the fear that they're trying to pump into everybody.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing. They're wanting to implant it in everybody's head. Oh, it's Russia that's the one that set up. No, Russia, what they did is, you got to think about it like this. Russia kind of rushed all in there real quick and secured a lot of things. They secured that Chernobyl power plant, the nuclear power plant. Why? To keep the Azovs from going there and blowing it up and blaming it on the Russians.
Yeah.
Well, now Russia's came in there and seized up the whole damn country, so NATO can't come in there and start feeding them weapons like they're trying to do, just so that they can keep them from also lighting a damn bomb off inside Ukraine and blaming it on Russia. So they're securing it for their own reasons to keep from being blamed for being setting off a bomb, because they'll be like, they're all sitting around. They all got like video cameras and so like, yeah, there goes one of those NATO guys. Yeah, he just lit off a nuclear bomb right over there. Yeah, we detected it. Yeah, so they'll have all their evidence. It's just one of these things where they've set up a defensive perimeter inside that. Now the narrative is going to have to shift and go to China. And when it does, that's when we're going to be real damn close to this. They got to flip the switch sometime right around then, because then they'll have pissed off America. America's going to flop around, do whatever it does. They will unite at that time. And then once they do that and solidify something, boom, that's going to be probably everybody's reset at that point, because America has no choice. They have to come to the table. And if they are dictating some of the terms, and they're already trying to use, the digital currency as well. And so I think they had this plan for quite some time, and they're just playing this out. And they're pissing a lot of people off because of watching Brandon fumble fart around here, higher gas prices, higher food prices, all this other stuff. Because how else do you wake up the American sleepy ass people other than to make them go through some pain? We had to go 2 years before people finally started standing up saying enough of what's been going on for the last 2 years. But it only took 2 years to get it in and get them mad enough.
Isn't that scary? Isn't it scary? It took 24 months for a lot of people to finally go, man, this ain't real, and I've had enough of it. I'm done. I'm hearing Democrats are now finally doing it. I sniffed that stuff out before it even hit the shore. I said, I know that they're using this for something else, and the whole 2 weeks to flatten the curve, I called bullshit on. Now, yes, I had to put the mask on a couple of times to go into a store to grab something that I really, really needed. But I could tell you, I did not fall into the trap of I need to do this to protect my neighbor or to protect my family. I did it out of simple necessity that I needed something pretty bad. Otherwise, if I didn't need that, I would have never walked into that store.
Yeah, and I feel bad for people that had to wear. I was lucky. I got away. I never wore it once, and just out of spite there for a while. I was like, hell no, I ain't gonna do it. Yeah, I got kicked out of a few places, but I was like, I don't care. I'll never come back here again. So it was like, whatever. But I was pretty fortunate, I guess. But then again, I would have been a real dick about it. I'll tell you what,
Yeah,
So,
I wasn't nice about it either. I was not nice about it.
But anyway, it still took 20 4 months before people got mad enough to do something. That's the reality of it. It could have been done. It could have, after 2 weeks, people should have been, say, hey, what's going on? You had your 2 weeks. We're done.
Yep,
No, we're
we're
not
done.
playing all
We're
this.
done. Yep.
Yeah.
That
But
could have very well changed the course of a lot of things.
yeah, it would have. And it also should point out the power of mainstream media and how they're able to psychologically traumatize a population in every country, you know?
The world, yes.
Uh-huh. So every country went through this deep psychological brainwashing, and generally people as a whole failed miserably. This was a test and people failed miserably, it was horrible. So, but now people should learn from that too. They should now be distrustful of, and it's not like Trump hadn't been saying fake news for the last 4 years, so.
Actually, I think he's been saying it for almost 6 now, right? A year before he won the election, 4 years while he was in office, and it's another year past that, almost 2 years past that. So he's been saying it for quite a while.
Oh, I know. So that's kind of what I'm getting at now. It should be pretty well known that fake news is real, and they have weaponized it and honed it to a really specific targeted skill. And so you got to really kind of know how to dodge your way around the way they frame different stories, how they talk about it. And then once you recognize it, it's easy to pull it apart after that. So that's the thing that people should have a really good takeaway, is learning that, yeah, they've been fooled, and they were fooled really damn good. So now, they shouldn't be fooled like that again. So anybody that is not awake to what is going on and has been going on for the past 3 years practically, man, there's no hope for them. So don't worry about them. Just worry about yourself and find some other people that are like-minded to talk to. And then, other than that, just go right on through your day, forget about it, because there's going to be 10% of the population is severely brainwashed. They'll fall for anything. So you might as well write 10% of the population off and just say, yeah, they're screwed. That's their problem, and deal with it. And know that there's another 20% upon them that's almost as dumb. So you got there's a lot of people out there that are really damn dumb. And I think they all live around here.
That's like 160 million people.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's a lot of
It is.
people.
It is. So now now that you know what the score is, now you're able to kind of move through that, and you have the information, and you're able to just keep going forward and just keep doing what you can to keep building what you can, and to keep your own sanity, keep working, kind of keep making money, keep doing what you're doing. And these other idiots, man, there's going to be a certain sect of the population that's going to all of a sudden have probably some funny medical problems, and so there's going to be some weird things that are going to happen to a certain percentage of people. Then you got all this economic stuff that's just right on top of it too. So who the hell really knows? All I can do is just kind of, throw my best guesses out there and say, well, here's some things that are definitely in the works. There's no doubting it. You can deny it all you want, but it's definitely in the works. It's just, how's it going to play out? That's the key part.
Do you believe that Trump has a key in any of this, a play in any of this?
Oh yeah, I think he certainly does, and he probably was one of the masterminds behind a lot of this stuff. It takes, you know, somebody that can really organize, coordinate, and plan for something that would be probably a 2-year event. If you wanted to take this transition, how long would it take to transition a country that's corrupt as hell like this, and the whole global system as far as the way the economy runs? How long would it take to transition that over into something that was legit and fair, and all that? you know it would probably take 2 years. I mean, why the hell does Ripple, XRP, have a lawsuit that never ends? It's the dumbest thing ever. Or are they specifically holding it off for a reason? you know and if XRP is the one that's got all the banks tied in, and they're able to do their settlements instantaneously because commerce is the biggest thing, these greedy bastards, all they can think about. And they have all that stuff where it's getting closer and closer and closer. And they have to run a lot of tests on stuff like that too. You don't just flip the switch and go for broke and say, okay, we're going to switch over to hell. These could be the same dumbasses that designed Obamacare, where it crashed on the first day. They don't want that. That would be that would not look good. So I don't know. If you were wanting to change a whole economy over, it would take some very serious planning and a lot of key people in certain positions that can make it happen. But it doesn't have to take, when I say a lot, I'm talking probably like only 50 people. That's a hell of a team, though, especially if there's, we're talking like Putins and Modis and G's and these heads of these other companies and heads of certain, financial institutions. And, if they got all the dirt on all of them, they either can play or go pay. And if they pay, they're going down. So who knows? But
Yeah. Here's a question for you, Scott. Where can I buy the Russian ruble online? If you know the answer to that question,
I do not. So you'll have to do your own research.
I would say ask a bank. I saw that in the chat too. I would probably go to the bank first and ask them for some advice on if they can get it for you, or if you can buy it somewhere online.
Yeah, I have no clue about that. I hear like certain exchange places. If you can get to the airport, they all have exchange places there, and you can
Yeah,
exchange for any currency practically at an airport. So that's
I
one.
heard that too. I heard that too. I do know that there are some people that really push XRP really hard. They're saying that's the currency of the future. Um, they said Bitcoin will go away. And listen, folks, I know nothing about this stuff, so don't take what I'm saying and as gospel. I'm just telling you the things that I've heard is some of the things that I look at when I'm out there searching for things. I have no inside information. I have no clue. But I've watched a few things where they make a good case for XRP. They make a good case for Bitcoin going away. But who knows? I have no clue. I'm kind of at that point where I just wish this thing would hurry up and fire off, and um, just want to get it over with.
Well, I've been saying that since 2015. So yeah, and some mentors of mine, they've been pushing for it decades ago. So it's been a real long, arduous fight for a lot of people, and there's been people that didn't make it, and so your sanity and your survival is rule number one, so you got to keep that in mind. And as far as the XRP and stuff, yeah, I hear the same thing. Gold backed, XLM, silver backed, da 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 da. Bitcoin could go. I've heard it go down as low as $1,000, $2,000, and to liquidate black hat money out of Bitcoin, and then after that, it's going to bounce up to close to $1 million. I don't know. I dabble in some cryptocurrency. It's pretty flat. Silver over the past couple of days has been kind of flat, but they're rigging the living shit out of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just how long can they keep rigging this stuff? And it's, you listen to everybody. Everybody's saying the same thing. It's fixing to go sky high. Everything's fixing to bounce. It's all, the whole thing. It's just, when are they going to pull that trigger? That's all I'm saying. I'm right there with you as well. I'm ready to see it happen. For people that are, like us, having to watch people suffer is just kind of like almost senseless, because it's like, we already know what's wrong, we kind of know how to fix it, can we just get on to that, and so it's like I say, keeping your sanity right now is probably going to be the biggest trick on some of this stuff.
Yeah, not going crazy thinking about it. The weight of a buffalo round is 1 full silver ounce. It's 99.9% pure silver.
It's 0.999.
Yeah, or 0.999. It's worth the buy, I can tell you that. So Scott, there's some other talk that I received here in the last, I don't know, 24 or 48 hours of debt forgiveness. Now, again, folks, what I'm saying, I don't have anything to back this up. It's people who've reached out to me. I know one person personally that their debt is not making sense. And I'll go into detail here in just a second about that. But one person reached out to me and said, hey, a lot of the big how did he put it? There were some institutions putting out things like that student loan debt was going to absolutely go bye-bye. Do you know anything about that? Have you heard anything about that? Your thoughts on that?
Well, you'll find this interesting. I had a student loan debt, and I refused to pay it because I didn't get shit out of it. And it was kind of a crooked deal anyway, got wrangled into it. And so I had a student loan debt. And just a couple of days ago, I was thumbing through my little app on my phone, and that student loan debt is gone. And now they will never, you can't, when you go, I went through bankruptcy several years ago. It was like 2013 or something. And they wouldn't relieve a student loan debt, even on a bankruptcy, Chapter 7. And so that thing goes with you everywhere. It like haunts you. It's like, it will never go away. It's gone. It was only like $12,000, so it wasn't like, I was robbing anybody major money or anything, but it's gone. So I don't have a student debt anymore. And my credit went up.
Well, here's one for you. Now listen, folks. I have zero proof of any of this. Okay. This person is in my family, same DNA as I have. Okay. And they were checking their credit about 3 days ago. And there was, again, I seen this with my own eyes on the app. Okay. They showed it to me. They had 2 car loans, a mortgage, and like an ATV loan as well, a credit card, and one other thing, and it's completely gone off of their credit. Okay, it's gone. Their credit actually went up. Their credit score went up. And I know, like I said, this person has my same DNA, and I was looking at it, and I know the story, the backstory. This was my question. These loans are through different creditors, so it's not just like one bank. So it wasn't like a bank could have like a glitch or a bad day or something crash, and all of those loans got wiped clean. I could see that happening. I could see that happening with like a bank, if a bank got hacked or something like this. That is this was different loans, and they're all gone. And so my question was, do you think that this is a mistake? Do you think that you're going to get all excited and everything, and then all of a sudden, a week or two down the road, boom, it's going to be right back on your credit again? There's no answer for that. And I found it very, very odd and strange that all that stuff is gone, and their credit actually went up. Their credit should have been way lower than what it was, but their credit went up. And so I thought I'd throw that out there tonight, Scott. I didn't know if you knew anything about stuff happening or your thoughts on it anyway.
Well, like I said, it's just ironic that you brought that up, and I've had that student loan forever, and it's gone now. And I just checked like 2 days ago, out of the clear blue, and so you hear stories about it, and I was like, yeah, okay. And now I've actually seen it. Will it happen for everybody? I don't know. Sure hope so. So, but I'm just telling you what happened to me. So that's all I can say on that. If this
Well,
whole thing was to kind of, the whole NESARA GESARA thing, I don't, even though I know quite a bit about it, there's a lot of chatter about different ways it'll be dispersed. And that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out,
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I'm very, very, very skeptical in the NESARA GESARA. I think everybody who's ever paid attention to me here on this channel, they know I have a problem with the NESARA GESARA. I have a lot of problem with it. I think there are ripple effects that they don't tell you about NESARA GESARA. So I'm very skeptical about it. But I can tell you, I seen it with my own eyes. I seen it with my own eyes, and I still have a hard time wrapping my head around it. I'm still waiting for the shoe to drop, so to speak. I'm still waiting for this person to contact me back and say, "Yep, you're right. It came right back." So I got a like a mental timer on it right now. I'm sitting there, I'm waiting, and every day that goes by and I don't get the call, I'm like, "All right, well, that's one more day. That's one more day." When we start getting a month or so out, that's going to be like, wow, what just happened? So I don't know. I thought that I'd throw that out there tonight.
Yeah, and I've got another guy. He contacts me, and he actually works for the IRS. And today they had their whole EBS system go off, and he told me that it was going to, a couple of days ago, that they were going to be doing this big test. And today I asked him, I said, so what happened? And then right after that, he wrote me a little bit later, he goes, man, right after you said that, that damn thing went off, man. And the whole IRS, their EBS system went off, and contacted, every employee of the IRS at that time. What was going on with that, who in the hell knows? But he just thought it was real strange. He's all for the reset and everything, and so he's just kind of letting me know what's going on. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's just some really strange things that are probably going on that we have no clue about. And it's kind of real calm up here, on the surface, just kind of looking at it. You watch the news, and they're just talking about weather and stuff like that, and generic stuff, and it's like, there's got to be a lot of stuff really going on. I mean, really, there's got to be some major stuff happening, you know. So it's just going to snap like a
Absolutely.
rubber band, probably. Who knows?
Yeah, very well could. Here's a question from Patty if you want to answer that, Scott, and I'm going to drop the link here. What is the difference between a troy ounce and an ounce of silver?
Oh, you know, that's pretty good because I had to even look that up the other day. It's like a troy ounce is a little bit heavier than the ounce of silver that we normally get. Why they had those? It's two different measuring systems, and a troy ounce is something we use something that's even hard to pronounce. I can't even remember it, but it's kind of odd. But most of the
Yeah.
stuff that we get is just a regular standard 1 ounce, and any coin that is a troy ounce coin will say it'll be stamped troy ounce. So
Yeah.
it's worth a little bit more just in silver content alone.
Okay, gotcha. Here's the deal with me dropping the link, folks. You don't show your face in the waiting room, you're not coming on the channel. Just telling you that right now. I don't care what name you come in under. If I don't see your face, I'm not letting you in. So you got to show your face. You can turn it off after I see you, but definitely got to see your face. So, Scott, do you know Monkey Works? Did you watch his video today?
I I've heard of Monkey Works for quite some time. I've seen a few of his videos, but no, I didn't see his video today. I'm kind of really busy. It's hard to if I was to follow all these other channels all day long, I wouldn't get nothing done. And believe me, I get quite a bit of stuff going on around here on my own. Even though I had some time this week, there's no excuse because I'm not doing any videos, but that'll change. Hopefully, we'll see. If they wanted to take my channel out right now, would be the perfect time because I got 2 strikes on it. All they got to do is just go in there and hit me with a third. Boom! They could jerk the whole damn thing off. I'd be gone. I'd be retired after that.
Oh wow! Hey, we got Shane. We got Shane here. He's called in. So hey, Shane, how are you doing this evening?
I'm Beachy, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. I'm glad to see your face backstage.
That's BS. Because if you see my name, you know I'm here. No one uses my name but me.
Yeah, well, that I don't
No,
trust.
I know that.
That I don't trust anymore.
Well, that's why I turned my camera on so you can see me backstage. And if you want me to come upstage and with my face, I will, man.
I don't require that, Shane. But thank you.
There. No, I will. Out of respect, I will do that. I will do that.
I can tell you folks that I'm still paying my taxes. All right. What I shared tonight doesn't mean quit paying your taxes, quit paying rent, quit making your car payment. That's not why I told that story. I'm telling you, I seen it with my own eyes. I wouldn't have believed it if somebody told me that. You know how skeptical I am. I would have went, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm telling you, they opened their phone up. They went right to the app. They pulled their own account up, and they showed me. And I was like, holy cow, that's pretty strange. Your thoughts on that, Shane?
Well, it is. Remember me and you talked about that, and I'm like, well, just don't get excited yet. Let's see what happens. Check around a little bit and just give us some time because sometimes, and like you said, the thing with being 5 different accounts, that makes it hard to understand how all of them could disappear at once.
Correct.
Now, if it was all through one bank, I could understand that. There could be a glitch. But to 5 banks, 5 different lending institutes, there's something different. Now, granted, nothing like that's been happened to me yet. Not saying I wish it wouldn't, but I only have one. That's with my truck. And other than that, I don't give 2 shits what a bike does.
Yeah, I still have a car payment, so they hadn't wiped out my car payment yet, so that's still on the books. But
yeah, and that's the thing. I got a truck payment.
Yeah, they could have hit that instead of the damn student loan. I would have been happier.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, I think I still owe $10,000 on my truck, and it's like, pay that damn thing off. Then I won't owe nothing to anybody.
Right. Yeah, I'm
But
12,000 on my car, and then I own that goofy son of a bitch too. So I'll be like, damn, just pay it off, be done with it.
hey, Scott, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
How the hell have you been, man? I ain't got to talk to you in a day or three.
You were in the hospital there for a while, weren't you?
In and out. Yes, I was in and out, and like I said, when I don't feel good, I don't talk to nobody. Mike's very rare. I talk to him. But yeah, he'll tell you when I'm in a bad mood and I don't feel good. I don't. No, I'd rather kill somebody than talk to them.
Here's one for Scott here. Mike, please tell Scott to keep an eye on Iraq for it to go gold back on the dinar, or however you pronounce that. And here's
Too late.
another one.
That's too late.
That's too late. Here's another one. It is a question: would it be better to turn my life insurance policy into silver instead? I would say I wouldn't touch my life insurance policy, but that's just me.
Here's what I'd say to that. If I was a person that had a pretty healthy life insurance policy, I'd turn it into silver. I do not trust a bank. I do not trust the market. And if you've got a life insurance policy, it runs off the stock market. I would not trust that whatsoever. I'm going to tell you, that shit crashes. You got nothing but a bunch of toilet paper.
No, I agree. And as a licensed insurance agent,
Hey, I'm not crazy, Mike. I've been telling you this.
Hey, I'm not saying I wouldn't personally consider doing it. I'm just not going to go on record to tell anybody that they should do it. Period. I won't.
That's my opinion, and that's a fact. Because think about it: stock market crashes, and you got a bunch of stock market. It's all in paper. You're in a bank, and the major bank closes. It's all on a note. That's paper. What's it going to do for you? It's going to wipe your ass if they'll let you have the paper it was written on. Now, they may not even let you have that. They'll be so broke they can't even send you the damn paper.
I agree.
Well, hell, they'll just give you dollars.
Yeah, they're going to give you green toilet paper.
That'll always be nice.
Blessing.
I would pay your taxes, folks. I am not going to tell anyone not to pay taxes. I'm telling you, I would continue life as you normally do, and if anything was to happen with any of this stuff, then possibly you get that back. I have no idea. I don't know how it works. Most of it I don't even believe in, but I would not recommend anybody to not pay their taxes.
I would say consult your CPA. That's what I do.
There you go. There you go.
Well, and here's better. What I would say: go to cash. If somebody gives you a check, you go to their bank and cash it. You sign your name, but it goes right back to their account, not yours. Don't put a damn thing in the damn bank. You can't get taxed for it. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a fact. I've been doing that I did it for 15 years, and then my ex-wife decided she wanted me to have good credit, so I straightened it up and went all good and got phenomenal credit. And once we got divorced, I got back off that horse shit for 3 years now. 4 years. I do everything cash. If I want to buy something and I can get the money, I don't buy it. I eat. Now, granted, my truck I bought when I was married, so I'm still paying on it. So I'll give you that. My house, I owner financed. Everything is cash. I pay everything cash. Nothing I do is on credit. And there's a reason.
Well, there's going to be a good reason, if they straighten out the dollar, if all this stuff crashes, and they're talking about, stock market, lose, who knows, it could lose how much, real estate's going to crash, and all this other stuff, you know, you got cash on hand or even some silver, you'll be able to barter and pick up some deals. All this stuff with these, inflated prices on cars and trucks, all that shit's fixing to come down. And when it does, for various reasons, cash will be kind of king. You'll be able to really pick up some assets, land or cars or something like that, houses, especially if the market was to drop like they're predicting. That's kind of what I'm waiting to see, is there's going to be a shift here. And, they're talking, they want to make all these chips and everything for these cars now, like down in Austin and shit. Hell, they could crank them damn things up. All these cars that are sitting around supposedly and all that, price on it starts flooding the market because nobody's been buying anything for the past year or so. They probably got a pretty hefty stockpile. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. They said this will be the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. What does that mean? What does that entail? I don't know, but I do believe there will be a shift.
Well, we kind of already seen it shift one way, where the richest people got a hell of a lot richer.
Yeah.
So there's been that shift. Now we need to see it shift the other damn direction.
Yeah. You're
and
damn
that's
right.
going to be the trick, is how do we figure out how to get shift the other direction? Because are we all going to become millionaires? No. Will we all become millionaires? No. Will we all get a few bucks? That would be nice.
Yeah.
Just to help us keep doing what we do for the upper class. Producing food, producing goods. We're the ones that do all the damn work. They don't do a damn thing. The government produces nothing except bullshit laws that the laws are not even lawful in the United States. All they can do is, what is it? There's 4 jobs the government can do, and it's all overseas. It has nothing to do with us. Now the states, that's a different story. That's the difference.
Well, I just want to see, there's going to have to be, obviously, people waking up and kind of demanding this shit and making it happen. But there's also the element that's out of our control, that's probably working on a timetable, and we're just kind of at the mercy of it right now. I mean, that's
because we allow it. That's because we allow it.
Well, parts of it is, like I say, beyond our control. Because, look at it like on a deeper level, if there's powers at play here doing things behind the scene to do a real reset of everything, we ain't got no say in none of that shit,
No.
So that's what's kind of making it a little bit different or difficult, is knowing that shit's on the horizon, but having no idea how, when, where, or what is going to occur, and so that's kind of the part where I'm saying, is keeping people's sanity and keeping focused on what they're doing, is going to be a big key probably right now.
I agree with that. I do.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and roll into final thoughts, unless either one of you have anything else that you wanna say. I might go outside and enjoy the rest of the evening and go for a walk. So Shane, is there anything you wanted to get out before we go to final thought?
Yeah, don't get me started. No, I'm kidding. Don't get me started, man. I've lived in. I've listened to some stuff, and I've listened to Scott tonight, and I've listened to a lot of things, and there's a lot of things I want to get out. Scott is spot on. I think me and him are twins because we think identical, and I'm 100% with it. Now we speak a little different, but I think he's spot on. So that's what I'll say for my final thought.
All right. Thank you for that, Shane. Scott, your final thought? Well, hold on, Scott. We gotta end the show right. So I'll let you give final thought, but you can have final comment before we get out of here.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And the check is in the mail, Shane. You know, I'll send it. You know, don't worry.
No, hey, wait. I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
What's Shiba Inu doing? Shiba Inu.
It's kind of flopping around, right? All the cryptos are just kind of flopping. Bitcoin kind of lost a little bit there for a little bit. There's kind of a lot of chatter about ETH, and it's kind of got some kind of stink going with the SEC. Then you got the SEC flopping around with XRP. This just sounds like a whole bunch of damn acronyms. It's just funny as hell. And then,
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I asked you, is because I noticed, you know, since me and you had, you know, dealings.
yeah, we talked about a couple of things.
Yeah, and there was I watched it, and man, it was growing and growing, and then all of a sudden it dropped off, and it was right back where I was started. I'm like, okay,
I know.
I'm not upset at that a bit. I'm
yeah, you can't be upset, you know, because it's hell, you're right back to where you start on, and it's so funny too because you know crypto makes such huge volatile swings. It'll make $100 swings, or even more. And so to have a $30-$40 swing, people are just kind of yawning. Gold makes a dollar swing, people are shitting their pants,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
It's funny, and so silver, I meant, not gold. Gold did get up, it's crossed over 2060 something, and it almost hit its all-time high. So that was real close. That was just a week or so ago, and silver got up to 26, and man, it looked like it was everything when it starts making these dollar swings like that, it could just gap up, and that's what people in crypto are looking for, is something to gap up. Right. So exactly. And so there's a lot of volatility to silver now, where it was kind of volatile, but now it's really starting to it was making some big moves. The last couple of days it's been kind of flat, which is weird. But same thing with crypto. It makes these big moves and it'll retrace and it'll hang out there for a little bit. But when it makes a bounce, it makes a big bounce. So it can be pretty impressive for sure.
Oh, and absolutely.
Somebody asked about the convoy and stuff, and so that is something, I like, I'm supportive of it and all that stuff. It's just, they could do this practically the same thing if they just parked all their truck. I even brought this up to some, because there's truckers that listen on the channel and stuff, and they called up, wanting some silver and stuff. And so I was talking to them before they even had the strike go on in Canada. I said, y'all could just park your damn trucks and turn them off, and y'all would have a pretty good effect. And he said, oh yeah. He said, I'm already ready for that. And there's a lot of talk going around. All this truckers have been talking about doing a big, strike and stuff like this or whatever. And I was like, yeah. I said, shoot, you don't even have to go nowhere, And then you talk to one guy but see, he's an owner operator, and that's the difference between a company man. He goes, yeah, the company man, they're paying them big, because truckers are making quite a bit of money, you know, especially because they were essential personnel or whatever they want to call it, you know. And so they were making a ton of money. And then, you know, all this stuff come up. So I talked to one, he goes, yeah, we're just driving our ass off, man, just so you have some shit at the store to eat, you know. So I was like, yeah, well, you know, keep doing what you're doing. You know, you're all making pretty good money right now. So, you know,
absolutely.
It has its good and its bad points, you know. It's just, and the only thing is now you just see them, you know, they're just circling around up there in DC, won't even let them get off the highway to go down in there and stuff like that. So
I get the hell away from DC. DC needs, DC needs to disappear in our minds.
Yeah.
All we need is the states. The states will tell DC what to do, and if they don't like it, they won't be in DC no more.
Well, that's true. I mean,
they need to do with DC. Period.
If all your representatives wasn't sold out to DC, then maybe you'd have a chance. So
bingo. Thank you.
Correct.
That's the sellout point. So,
well, Scott, your final thought, and then I'll give mine, and then you can have the final comment.
All right. Well, I pretty much said all I needed to say. I appreciate letting me come back on, and y'all got a good weather update around here. So it's just moving right along, and the best thing you can do right now is just keep your sanity, because it's crazier. It's batshit crazy out there right now. So don't worry about it.
It's Nancy Pelosi crazy right now.
Batshit crazy.
Yep, it's Nancy Pelosi crazy. Here you go. Here's my final thought. Maybe this one will shake people up a little bit. Being as big of a skeptic as I am, I was pleasantly surprised and shocked when I saw the credit report from my family member that's got the same DNA as me, because I have a hard time believing it. But when I seen it with my own eyes, it definitely makes me sit there and go, So that's my final thought for tonight. Thanks for joining us, folks. Check us out, libertywarriornation.com. We'll be back tomorrow morning for devotions at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will also be back tomorrow evening for Ladies' Night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well, with Tammy the Hammer Nation, Mary Kay, and Scad Warrior 2. So come out and support the girls. They do a fabulous job, a great job. So come out and do that. And Scott, your final comment, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to have you back on, and I'd love to have you over on Podbean too. So thanks for joining us again, brother. You're fun to talk with, and you always give us some great insight. So thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate that, and don't be shocked. It may start happening more and more, and stay frosty. Donald Trump is a fucking genius.
Hoping for a sincere performance, but open to finding the moment, to finding out where I'm headed now. Looking for a sign of disaster, so I can make it there faster. I'm weighing the consequences out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I scared, so damn afraid to look. I'm so sick of talking. I'm wearing the words out, words out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I buckle under all the details, I'll keep going till I make it to the other side, the other side. When it feels like everyone's out to get me,